Hello, welcome to another edition of Sports Night. I am your host, Ian Hunter.
A little taste
of what's going on. We got some softball. We're going to talk about a little. Joining us tonight, Alex Kozora. Alex, what's happening?
You know, weather's getting nicer outside, and that means I have allergies, and that means my left contact I hate right now. So, and I'm probably gonna sneeze like 5 times during the show. So I feel like as soon as we went on, I feel like I have to sneeze. So.
That's okay. We're at that point of the year where there's not much to talk about. So maybe if you sneeze, it'll give us something to talk about.
A way to really set the stage for this show. People are gonna love to tune into this.
Yeah, well, hey, the last block is my favorite.
I know it
I'm
is.
really excited about the last block.
I know you, unreasonably so.
Why don't we jump right to it? The softball team, hey, we'll throw that B-roll back up there, continues their poor play in the PSAC. They dropped to 3-21 overall, although they did win a game since that, so actually they're 4-22. But Alex, this has not been the season that the softball team was hoping for. They started out very strong. We thought, hey, this could be not the year, but hey, at least a positive
step in the right direction.
And it clearly has not been.
Well, I think the record is still a little deceiving because they have been very close and competitive in games. I mean, but the trouble is they still can't get over that hump. It's like 1-12 in games decided by 2 runs or less, and that's the really deciding factor there. You're in games, you're close, you're competitive, but you can't get over that and be able to pull out a couple victories. And just PSAC competition we don't fare well against, as Matt Catrillo said last week's show, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. Haven't won a conference game in over 2 years now. Start the year out at Myrtle Beach, you get a couple wins there, which is all well and good with PSAC.
Yeah, play the big boys.
Yeah, just not happening.
They did win 7-3 today against Salem International, but they also had an 8-0 loss against a team that's really not that good.
Right, I was really anticipating maybe a sweep here because Salem International is not a good team at all. They've lost 15-16 coming into tonight's game. Pitching staff was struggled with ERA close to 7, so a split is nice to be able to get the win and break that losing streak that's happening all year long, but I would have liked to take 2.
You would like to take 2. Let's look at their games last week. They lost 10-1, 7-4. They're 0-12 in the PSAC. They've until they won today, they had lost 20 in a row. And your best player wasn't even a player that you recruited to play softball. It was a volleyball player, Amanda Goff, who's now playing softball.
There are some bright spots. Goff and Lindner and Chelsea Zolas had a heck of a year pitching, but overall, just not a whole lot of talent. 2 players that are really struggling right now are Taylor Powell and Taylor Sherry. Great last year, just not happening this year. I think combined last year, their average was 298. This year, it's close to like 120, and it's not there. Sherry had 18 walks last year. She has 1 this year, so
it's not her either. It's not her year, or people just figured her out.
I'm not sure what it is, but
either way,
it's not the season that they want to have.
Let's go to a team that no one can figure out. The baseball team, now 1-33 on the season. Alex, they got one winner at least, right?
Yeah, I guess. A long time ago against Slippery Rock, but again, got swept again today by Mercyhurst. You have some of the B-roll here. So what more can you say about this team? You know, we said it last week. They can't hitting 199 as a team on the year. No one over 300. I think Drew Piratano's the top guy, like 295 around there. Yeah, I think 292 coming into today's matchup. Did have an RBI. Pitching staff, we're excited about the ERA being under 11. It's now like 10.6. So, you know,
hey, last week was 11.33. Yeah. So, hey, when it moves up,
at that rate, we'll get it under 10 here in a heartbeat. So, just a bad year all around. You have multiple guys that have double-digit at-bats that are hitting under 200 again as a team, hitting 199. Just no consistency. So many guys in slumps right now. You look at guys like
18 straight losses.
Yeah, Mike like Lockhart and Joey Gearlack and guys like that. Just big slumps right now. And pitching staff not strong either. I mean, what can you say at this point? Brett Whitman, I mean, his solid outings have been 5 earned runs, 6 earned runs. Just really unfortunate.
No, the pitching staff just really hasn't been able to give the backup to the team that they need.
Right.
They had everything came together in that Slippery Rock game where they won. Was it 2-1?
2-1, yeah.
They won 2-1. Everything came together. But since then, I think the pitching has really dropped off.
I mean, McGarry, Delval, guys that have struggled. McGarry got roughed up today. I think 5 earned, 4 earned on today's contest.
It was 5 earned,
5. Yeah. 2 caveats, though. It is a young team, tons of freshmen, tons of sophomore guys. They don't have a lot of experience, so that's worth pointing out. And just a lack of home games. They didn't play their first home game until, the 29th
Today was only their 3rd home game.
Yeah, so it's tough when you're traveling so much and games are getting postponed and you don't know what your schedule is like. That's tough on any team, especially a young one. So those are 2 caveats that I think are worth pointing out.
Worth pointing out, and hopefully they can at least build from. But it's hard to break that losing atmosphere, which the team has been going through for years.
Right, with the young team too. But Piratano, like I said, is having a solid year, so I think it is worth pointing out that he's having a nice season.
Hey, if only the pitching next year could even, obviously no one's going to pitch it. Hopefully no one will pitch consistently at their ERA at 10 as a team.
Yeah.
If you can pitch as a team somewhere in like that 5 or 6 area,
maybe nice.
This team will at least grab a couple wins, right?
Batting average is near the bottom in Division II, same with ERA, and that's all you really have to know, and that translates to 1 win.
1 win, but hey, at least I talked about it last week, at least when these guys look back on this season, they'll say, listen, we were a bad team, but you know what? We had that one game.
Yeah,
where everything came
and hey, season's not over yet.
No.
Still could get another.
So you never know. Moving on now, the track team, Alex's favorite team here on campus, had a strong performance at IUP, multiple runners finishing top 5. But again, it was an event that no one technically won, so what are you talking about?
I mean, you're making me feel like I hate the track team here. Now the track team's going to hate me and steal my lunch money. And I don't hate the track team. I just don't, I guess I don't know enough about them. That's probably my fault, so that's on me. But yeah, Megan Toddy, first place finish in the, 3,000 meter steep.
And Bethany Nago also placed the soccer team, also ran very well, yes.
Yeah, I think it was another school record set by one of the runners there. So,
it's tough because they don't have any events really around
here. I wish you had just more of that clarity and exposure, which is unfortunate. You don't always get that.
It's like the swimming team where no one really knows that they're around.
Or golf or something like that where you're always kind of away.
By the way,
that's off to them.
By the way, golf scores are in from this past weekend. Women's golf team finished 6th, men's team finished 9th, and I believe in the men's tournament there were only 9 teams.
Yeah, the men's golf team, it has been very rough.
It's been a season.
They have played, yes.
Yes.
More, that's about all you can say.
That's about it. Moving on, finally, for the last part of this block, the tennis team lost their finale against Slippery Rock, one of the better teams in Division II, at 9-0. They were never really in any of these matches. Maybe the first match, they were both number ones are up against each other. They played fairly well, but other than that, just a bad second half. They were good in the first half of the year, but second half of the year, new coaching staff.
Yeah, it's been tough for Joshua Thorpe, the new tennis coach. But, again, beginning of the year, a lot of out-of-conference stuff. Now you get into conference play. Things get a lot tougher. You play some really good teams.
Like IUP is very good.
Yeah, IUP, I think they played Westchester, too, so a very strong team. I ran the numbers last night for individual records. No one over 500. Your best players in, singles were, Kenley at 5-7, Betley at 4-8. Clemens really had a bad year. I think she was 0-7 in singles, 1-8 in doubles. So no one over 500 individually. Rough season. Yeah, just a tough year for the tennis team. It's been a tough spring season overall. It really has. Unfortunately, there's not enough bright spots to talk about, but that's the truth. So let's send to our first commercial break. Coming up next, we're going to play Exam Time. Keep it right here. You're watching Sports Night.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Can't find your one-of-a-kind ingredient? Looking to challenge your appetite with exotic flavor? Your search ends at 6th & Main's unique array of groceries and ingredients. Specializing in the not-so-widely available, 6th & Main is Clarion's supplier of the striking tastes that shape a stylish palate. With their varied styles and unmatched selection, 6th & Main has got the taste you have only dreamt about. Let your taste run wild at 6th & Main.
I got no pulse. We're losing him.
Sergeant, he's in VFib.
Shock him.
Drives it road all the time. Just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear.
You just buzzed.
Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. He'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shock him.
And welcome back to Sports Night. Alex, it's time to play Exam Time, which means we're going to be dishing out some grades for our spring season. So, yeah.
Is there a joke there that you were thinking of?
No, that's not really a joke.
Let's move along.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so let's grade the softball team's games against Mansfield. Go.
Not very good. I have to give them a D. I mean, 10-1 in the first matchup. Chelsea Zola really got roughed up, and I was kind of anticipating a tough outing from her because her whip's been very high. From April 9th on, her whip's 1.88. before April 9th. It was 1.12, so she'd been living dangerously. Finally got burn tagged for 6 earned runs, so 10-1 loss in the first game, which never want to see there. The second game a little bit better, 7-4, but again kind of a close game. You really couldn't pull it out. Story of the year for the softball team.
Pretty much. 10-1 loss, 7-4 loss, 11 hits given up in game 2, 12 hits in game 1.
Yeah.
Just too much. Pitching wasn't good enough. That's really
Actually, I want to correct myself. It was Zola in game 2 that gave up 6 earned. It was Julie Sokol in game 1 that I think she gave up. I think it was all 10 earned, I believe. So.
And 4 errors combined through 2 games.
And softball's tough to be error-free, and but Clarion, I think 14th or 15th in the PSAC in errors. So.
Which there's only 15 teams in the PSAC.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting at. So, bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, not very good when it comes to errors. I know Amanda Glover, as well as she has played at the plate, she has been pretty much one of the main contributors when it comes to that error category.
But she is at shortstop when you get a lot of chances, and that's tough. That's tough.
That's the toughest position to play.
Yeah.
Especially because, when you're trying to throw that ball to first base, it's not like a baseball you just grip with one hand and you just throw it.
Right.
So it's softball, a little bit different to throw and a little bit harder to throw. Moving on now, staying with softball, something positive. Alex, Amanda Goff's season so far for the softball team, throw to grade.
It's been fantastic. I'm not going to use the stupid puns that you guys had with the Goffalicious and all that. That's not going to happen.
That was fantastic.
No, that was terrible. They were not funny at all. I'm going to level with you, Hunter. But I'm going to give her an A- because she's
I didn't say they were funny.
She's been, well, that's the point of jokes. I don't know what I have no idea what you're getting at. A- though for Goff, hitting close to 400 on the year, leads the team in RBIs, having a fantastic year. She leads the team in extra base hits by far. So great year for Amanda Goff. And only 7 strikeouts on the year and 60 some at bats. So fantastic.
Her batting average has gone down a little bit. She's only batting in the 450s before she dropped down to 390.
My goodness,
so
what a slump.
But I'm going to give her a solid A. Her 12 RBIs, I think she would have more if she had more of her teammates getting on base. 27 hits, 9 doubles. She has 1 home run. She's not necessarily a power hitter, but she's going to find the gaps in the field, she's done a great job at that. Again, the 391 batting average is fantastic.
Yeah, really had a good year.
It's a solid A. And when she's the cream of the crop, it's almost like what Hannah Heater was able to do for the basketball team. Amanda Goff is finally going to be able to do.
And multi-sport athlete, and really successful at most of what she's done. So hats off to Amanda Goff.
Yes, I'm sure we'll be hearing Amanda Goff's name here in our next segment for award nominations.
Yes, we sure we will.
I'm pretty sure we will. Moving on now, the baseball team's games versus Mercyhurst and Point Park will count today too, since those games are in the books. Alex, what's your grade?
A D-. I mean, being maybe even a little generous with that. What the Mercyhurst game didn't turn out well today, didn't turn out well. The Mercyhurst game that it was Mercyhurst, I think, on Saturday?
Yeah, it was Saturday. It was Mercyhurst.
No runs in either game. They've now been shut out in 14 of 34 games on the year, so just not scoring any runs, not getting any hits. They've been 2 hit, 1 hit, no hit, 1 perfect game thrown against them early in the year against Millersville. So just the offense not there. So D- again.
I'm going to go also with D-. 38 runs they gave up last week. 38 runs.
Wow.
Clarion scored 3. That's bad. Very, very bad. 7-0 loss, 4-0 loss, 6-1, 5-1, 9-1, and then finally 7-0 against Mercyhurst.
And Point Park, I remember we were at that game, and it was 8-0 after 3 innings. So just you're out of it from the beginning.
Today's game, I was there up until the 5th inning, and it was only 1-0.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, or maybe it was 3-0. But either way, it was still
close.
fairly.
Yeah, Scraba was decent. I mean, 7 innings, 6 earned, but
and Clarion's offense was doing things. They were getting on base. They had bases loaded at one point before pretty bad strikeout, but not a whole lot you can do. So D- for this past week, which has been unfortunate. It's been a D- kind of year for the baseball team.
It has.
Oh, we can only beat that dead horse so long now before it's
it's
a bad season.
You hate to say it. You really don't want to talk about it, but it's the truth, and you got to go where the facts tell you to.
And finally, baseball's pitching staff this past week. Alex, give it a grade.
Again, I'm going to give it a C just because the ERA has come down a little bit. So
we found some positives.
Just relatively from where it's been before. Guys like Brett Whitman that might have given up 4 or 5 earned run, where they've given up 7 or 6 in the past. Scraba today went the distance, 7 innings, gave up 6 earned, but at least you're able to at least have just one guy go in so you don't totally tax your bullpen. I think this past week, Alex Borofsky went 5 innings, struck out 7, which was a team high for an individual player on the year. Gave only, I think, 2 earned runs. So a little better, obviously still not good to the standard of being able to win games and be competitive, but for Clarion standards, much you hate to say it, a C.
I'm going to give them a solid C, and just based on what the season's been like so far. So the grade is kind of relative to the season that they're having. And I think the season is being perfectly illustrated. There's an article on Clarion's athletics page that says, they only gave up 6 runs today, and they only gave up 5 runs today, which for any other team is not good, but for right now, that's what we have. That's not a bad outing compared to what we've had this season. So it's a C. The ERA has gone down. Now, granted, it could not have gotten much worse, but it has gone down. So not good losses this week, but ERA went down. Pitching staff is at least improving.
At least you're not Grambling State, who lost 30-0 a couple weeks ago.
This is true. You know, at least when Clarion lost 22-5, they scored 5 runs.
Yeah, positives, bright
So
spots. And that's really what you can ask for, just incremental improvements for the rest of the year.
And again, at this point, it's just something for these guys to look at and say, okay, listen, you know, we had a bad year, but hey, we did these handful
building
of things
blocks.
well.
Get a foundation
One thing
built.
at a time for the baseball team.
You got it.
We're going to head to our next commercial break. Coming up next, it's time for some more award nominations. Alex, this week it's individuals.
Ooh, wow,
yeah,
fancy.
Yeah, we're having fun here on Sports Night. Keep it right here. You're watching Sports Night.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people, and you're better than that.
At Sheetz, your favorite meal on the go is just a touch away. The MTO, or made-to-order menu, is the perfect way to quickly get food that will satisfy any craving. Don't worry about trying to decide which fast food restaurant will satisfy your taste. Sheetz' wide variety of choices and simple ordering system makes the decision easy. For those especially hectic days when time is at a premium, Sheetz also offers the MTO to-go case with quick grabs. Sheetz is conveniently located at 1281 East Main Street in Clarion.
Up on sex, don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
And welcome back to Sports Night. Alex, it's time for more award nominations. Last week, we had the team nominations, some really good stuff there. Yeah. Our last episode, which will not be next week, it'll be the following week, we will have our Grand Sports Night Award show.
Ooh, better than the Emmys.
Better than the
Emmys. We have Seth MacFarlane? Was he at the Oscars?
Well, no, he was at the Oscars.
I don't pay attention to those things.
I can tell.
I just guess, say words.
We won't sing songs either.
Thank goodness for that.
Because we would have to have Matt Catrillo host.
Oh, let's move on.
All right, Alex, best male athlete, go.
I think we might be a consensus here, but I went James Fleming, wrestler obviously for Clarion, one of the best that's ever walked through the doors at Tippin, and that's saying a lot when you talk about guys like Kurt Angle and Frankie Edgar and guys like that have come through these doors.
Wade Chalice.
Yeah, Wade Chalice as well. Maybe didn't have the season of his expectations, only, what, 5th, I think, at Nationals. But whenever you're 5th or 7th.
5th, he was 8th, I think.
Was it 8th?
So he barely, he got All-American, but he
yeah, but whenever that's your down year, you're doing something great. What a season, what a career for James Fleming.
I agree. I went with, I had 2 guys. I had Mike Kromka, who without him, the basketball team, how many wins did the basketball team end up having?
6, I think.
6. They probably don't even have 2 if Mike Kromka is not playing. He had a great year, really just overshadowed by the fact the rest of the team didn't always play that well. Mike Kromka had a very good year. And then I went with Ben Fiskus, too. Ben Fiskus, who I have harped on for years.
You hated him, I'm pretty sure.
It wasn't hate. Hate's a strong word, Alex.
It was a strong feeling you had.
But he really exceeded my expectations this year, did an absolutely fantastic job, threw the ball better than I think even he knew how. He figured out how to do it. So
the confidence that the coaching staff has him and now is limitless.
Yeah, it is, absolutely is. And talk about that zone read offense. Ben Fiskus running it almost not flawlessly, but he's running it very well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so now it's time to move on to best female athlete.
Easy one here again. Hannah Heater, 14 points, I think 12 boards. The only player in Division II to average a double-double on the year. Remarkable year again. You talk about value. You know, how many wins did she get your team? The same thing for Hannah Heater as Kromka for the men's team. So great year for Hannah Heater.
Don't forget about for volleyball too. Yeah, she was an All-American in volleyball too.
Yeah, and then you talk about academics as well. I think she's like a 3.95, 4.0 GPA. So good to see it in the classroom as well.
Yeah, she just celebrated her birthday too.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Hannah. Heard about that? Not from that, actually.
No.
Not from that, actually.
I'm not going to get into that.
No. I went with Amanda Goff here, batting in near 400. It was in 400 for most of the season.
Yeah.
at 391. Oh, man, really dipping to 391, right? Absolutely fantastic season for softball. Also played on the basketball team. Didn't really get a whole lot of minutes, which was very disappointing for her. She took out that frustration on the softball field, really is lighting it up, doing a great job, and really kind of like Kromka might be overshadowed a little bit by the fact that her team isn't necessarily performing well around her. So best female athlete is going to be between the two former teammates multiple times, Amanda Goff and Hannah Heater.
Yeah, really good pick. She's probably going to set, if her average I think is like, if it's above like 388, she'll have the record for best batting average in a single year.
I think she will. There's only 4 games left, I think.
Like that.
Yeah, they finish up this week.
Yeah.
Moving on now, Alex, best game performance.
Well, this one you called, Ian. I listened back to it the one day and just kind of had to laugh. It was Marcus Jones, 8 3-pointers against Mercyhurst, 26 points, 8 of 10 from three-point land. And that huge win over Mercyhurst, one of the signature wins for the basketball team. Wins were elusive, but that was a big one.
You and I were on the show before that, and we were like, there's no way they win this game. We thought they were going to get killed.
So. Yeah.
And they handed it to Mercyhurst that night. They really did.
Yeah, Marcus Jones, what a game.
I went with Ben Fiskus versus East Stroudsburg, 183 running yards, 245 passing yards, threw a touchdown pass, led the offense down the field. The last drive of the game helps Clarion score the go-ahead points to win that game. Just a fantastic season for Ben Fiskus. And again, Lock Haven, too. He played absolutely
tremendously. Right, he's about coming out parties, though, putting himself on the map. That upset win over East Stroudsburg, that comeback, really did so.
Yeah, captain comeback, Ben Fiskus this year. Now, one of the most prestigious awards from the Sportsnight Awards, Clarion MVP.
Are we going MVP here?
Clarion MVP.
I'm going to go with Benny Fiskus, and I say that just because our cameraman Rick wants me to say that. But no disrespect to Ben Fiskus, great year, 24 yards passing, 625 rushing, 5 touchdowns rushing, and 15 passing. First team all PSAC West. What a year, what a competitor. Really carried that team.
I'm going to went with Hannah Heater for every reason that we've mentioned beforehand in terms of value, what she did for both her teams. Helped both her teams get to the playoffs.
Yeah,
without her, neither of those two teams probably get to the playoffs.
So true.
Maybe a little bit more depth on the volleyball team, but really in terms of talent, her talent put both teams over the top, got them both to the playoffs. I also went with Kromka just based on value, what he brings to the team, and I also put down Ben Fiskus. And I think I missed best play, so we're going to go back to best play now.
Yeah, you threw me off there.
See if you're paying attention.
Keep me on my toes. Well, I am. I went with soccer. Bethany Noggle, game-winning in goal on senior night against Mercyhurst. I think it was Barber to Noggle to set up the game-winning goal. So senior-to-senior connection, capped it off with a victory, and great story there.
Yeah, the soccer documentary, by the way, on YouTube now. So check out that part of the documentary. It's probably my favorite.
Yeah, it's an awesome moment. It's very cool. Yeah, you can check out the channel for all other remotes and other broadcasts. That's my shameless plug.
Well, what's the name of it? If you're going to continue the shameless plug, at least give the name.
Valid point. CUTV, The Nest.
Okay, so now it's not, well, it's still shameful, not so much shameless anymore.
Yes.
I went with Ben Fiskus throwing the touchdown pass against Lock Haven. Lock Haven, who hadn't won a game, looked like they were finally going to do it.
Yeah.
The fans were ready to storm the field, and Ben Fiskus runs around and finds Anthony Bico in the back of the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, listen to that call on Lock Haven's website. That is gut-wrenching if you're a Lock Haven
I remember
fan.
we felt bad.
Yeah,
we really felt bad.
Honestly, that last shot for the webcast came up to the clouds, and that just kind of summed it up. They just, wow.
It really did. But you know what? Good for Lock Haven. They did win later in the year.
Yeah, they did. Beat Cheney.
And finally, Surprise Athlete of the Year.
I went with 2 from the softball team. I mentioned him earlier, Chelsea Zola, 2.10 ERA. That just got inflated by that 6-earned run outing against Mansfield. She, at one point, had a 1.43, and I think for a while, even under 1, which was one of the best in the PSAC. She was, I think, 5th or 9th. That probably came down a little bit. But great year from her after a 5 ERA last year. And then Nicole Lindner sat out last season. This year, hitting over 360. Extra base hits as well. I think she has 2 home runs on the year, so a great season from her.
For my surprise athletes, I went with Laura Subject, having to come up from the spirit of Amanda Goff to really play. I know she played pretty well. Not quite to Amanda's level just yet, but she did show glimpses of it. I was very surprised in a very positive way. I went with Anastasia Lard from the soccer team. You know, her coaches voted her as freshman of the year, and they have said if there was a freshman all-PSAC team, she would have been on it. And I agreed. I thought she had a fantastic season, very good defenseman. I went with Julius Hauser from the football team. We can't forget about him. And then I also had Bobby Thomas on there too. So Bobby Thomas had to take over for a running back position. Patrick Graham Murphy was gone, and we were thinking who's going to take over. He did very well before injury really set back his season.
Yeah, he did. True.
So we're going to send it to our last commercial break. Coming up next is our final round. Keep it right here. You're watching Sports Night.
looking for a good time, it's gotta be Wasteland Live.
And welcome back to Sportsnight. Alex, time for the final round. Only got a couple minutes left. Softball team finishes their season this week. Do they get a section win?
I think they get one because they've been so close, again, yet so far away, but I think they're going to get one. They're rejuvenated after getting no hit this past weekend against Lockhaven. I think they will get one win.
I don't think they get it against IUP. I think they get it against Bloomsburg.
That's probably more likely.
I think Bloomsburg is their last game. I think they maybe squeak a win out. I like it. Their chances there. Baseball team, Mansfield, Shippensburg, the rest of this week. What can we expect from this team's pitching staff? They have improved.
Yeah, but
technically.
Just technically, it's a technicality there. I mean, it's going to be okay for Clarion standards. Maybe get Telvall back on the hill, but for everyone else's standards, it's going to be pretty poor.
Yeah, well, it's hard to
argue.
The facts are the facts right now. I don't know. I think they can keep improving. You know, keep chipping
I
away.
So. I hope so. That's all you can do.
Just keep grinding at this point in the season to try to end on a positive note. I think they can do that.
Oh, I hope so.
And moving on to some fun stuff now. The ratings for Mike Friend's show came in today. Alex, you surprised by the subpar rating?
No, I'm not surprised.
I'm not either.
I mean, I turned it on, I saw it was on, and turned it back off. So
You know,
he's mad. He's an angry Mike Friend right now. I don't care.
Good news is that I'm on the show next week, so the ratings can only go up.
Well, we up to what, 3 viewers, an all-time high?
3 viewers, maybe 4.
Whoa! Don't push it.
I know.
We're getting a little crazy over there.
Getting crazy over here. And then finally, because we're having some fun, what are the chances that Matt Cotrillo can make the football team at his old position, offensive guard?
Yeah, that's the thing why I don't like talking about Cotrillo in general and specifically now, because then he just starts to bring up his youth. I think he's like 90, so I guess he can't bring up his youth. He's Grandpa Cotrillo, but he talks about his guard play, playing 8th grade basketball, his baseball experience.
I wish we had a
soccer.
picture.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I wish we did, because we could show the picture next to show the for viewing
We'll get
audience.
lower viewer ratings on Mike Friend show if we do that. So no,
that's right.
We don't want to do that. He's still angry, Mike Friend. But
he is angry.
No, I don't want to talk about Matt Cotrillo. I haven't had to see him since like this afternoon, so I don't like talking about him.
No, he's having fun today, I'm sure.
I don't care.
I don't think his chances are good. I don't think so. Anyway, well, that's all the time we have here for Sports Night this week. Be sure to stay tuned for all your CEU TV programming. That includes Mike Friend's show. Just kidding. We don't have ratings here. And I'm sure if we had ratings, I'm sure my show would be just as, at least in the same ballpark. Anyway, we'll catch you next week. You've been watching Sports Night.